a hot topic. Is the topic of moderation. Why is that so hard? Have you thought that before? I just want to have one or two. Why is that so hard? Well, it was hard for me as well. In fact, I have found now, fast forward my life about 9 years into this alcohol-free journey, I've literally found for me, this is a personal journey, is actually easier for me to have none than to have one. And we'll talk about that in this workshop today. I always say I could moderate until I couldn't. And that's the truth. I could moderate. I didn't have to like go overboard every single time I drank, but it was a little bit unpredictable to me. I wasn't really sure when I was going to cross that magical line that I always had rules around, like have one or two, nothing bad can happen. You can't overdo it that way. Well, I found out towards the end of my drinking career that you can. Even 2 glasses of wine totally wrecked my sleep. Actually, I kind of had, I'm going to bust out and say, a bit of a spiritual experience, because I'll never forget it, y'all. This is story time before I officially begin. I was in the shower after just 2 glasses of wine, and it was spinning. And I was like, that blew all the rules out of the water, because I never even thought that 2 glasses of wine could make the room spin after I'd built up such tolerance. I think it was because it was so honestly misaligning for me. It was so not what God's best was for me. But thank God in his mercy, he literally didn't let it work for me because I wanted to not want it. I didn't want to always want it and think I couldn't have it. I wanted to not want it. And there I was in the shower. And I remember telling my husband, Craig, afterwards, I was like, I don't know what's going on. But even with 2 glasses of wine, I was like, it's not working for me. So moderation is a unique road. It's a journey, because if you're here, you probably know that you want to change your relationship with alcohol. You're not here to say never, forever, or always, at least not at the beginning. I still don't say that. 9 years in, I still don't get caught up in never, forever, or always, because our brain doesn't like that. Our brain really doesn't like that finality. But I've gone 9 years now without a drink, and I just can't really think of a reason to bring it back in. I mean, it's not that I'm trying so hard not to drink. It's that I can't think of a good enough reason to bring it back in. I can think of a reason to numb out, escape, alter my feelings, or try to bend reality every day. But the solution, the tool of alcohol, is no longer on the table for me, and that feels free. So if that sounds appealing to you and something that you want to learn more about, you're in the right place, because we're going to talk about that today. Why moderation feels so hard when you're just trying to drink less or not at all. So let's talk about it. Moderation requires constant control. Think about it. I've thought about it. I've done it. Moderation requires vigilance, constant tracking, counting, and negotiating. I mean, literally, I don't know about y'all, but I've got all kinds of apps on my phone. I've got, my Fitness Pal. There's all kinds of great, counting days that you're not drinking apps. It's a lot to keep track of. I count up now, like how many days I've been alcohol free. Now I've kind of moved into now I just count years. But at the beginning, I was definitely counting days. But I was telling a sister the other day, I count up now, not counting down. And when I was trying to moderate or manage my drinking, I think management is another word for moderation. I do. I see it as a part-time management job. How many of you out there are managers? Literally, you're project managers, you're managers at a store, you're a manager. Imagine being a manager of alcohol in your life that is consuming part-time hours at least. I mean, it's a full-time job being a drinker, but just the act of moderating is like a part-time manager job without getting paid. It's like you're paying with your time, your energy, and your bandwidth. And I'm here to say, what a ripoff. I know, because I did it for years. So I can say that with authority because I did it. What a ripoff to devote so much of our bandwidth, our mental energy, our emotional energy to managing a substance that quite honestly doesn't really want to be managed. It's hard enough to manage things that want to be managed. It's very difficult to manage a substance that really creates a thirst for itself. So, good luck, right? Is it possible? Yes. And it will require so much of you, wherever you are on the drinking spectrum. It will require so much of you to be able to manage or moderate alcohol that by the time you clock in and clock out of your moderation, gosh, think of what you could have done with that energy and that bandwidth. And I wrote down here in my notes, not only is it extra mental load, it's that invisible load. We were talking earlier about motherhood. For any woman out there, I'm going to make this a woman thing. I don't think it's a mom thing. I think it's a woman thing. There is something called the invisible load. It's all the things we do that nobody really sees that start to kind of bog us down, right? Well, maybe some of you are feeling this right now. Like you're like, Jen, I'll catch up here in the chat here at the end. But like, you're like, right now, I'm thinking about like, am I going to drink tonight? Am I not going to drink tonight? Am I going to have one? Am I going to have three? Am I going to have white? Am I going to have red? Am I going to stop drinking when my husband and I get home from date night? Or am I going to continue to drink in front of the TV after he's gone to bed? Guilty as charged. Do I sound like I know what I'm talking about? Because that was my life. That's what I did. And so not only is it draining, but you're literally taking your energy, your soul, and scattering it. You're scattering your energy. And I heard a wise person once say, try to chase two rabbits and you will catch neither one. Think about it. If you're trying to drink, not drink, drink one, but you really want five, it's so much scattered energy. The chances of you really, really feeling whole and aligned and present is slim to none because you're scattered. You're like, I want that, I want that. And it's okay. You're normal. If you're a regular drinker and you're listening to me right now because you came into this community because you're sober curious, you are in the right place. I created Sober Sis so we could talk about this so freely, like out in the open, like for real, and keep it real. So if that's you, you're not a bad person, you're not a moral failure, really your brain is working like it should with an addictive substance like alcohol, because alcohol really does create a thirst for itself. So if you drink one, you're going to want two. That's the nature of the substance. Like a lot of other substances, but alcohol has an insidious side to it because rather than a reverse tolerance where you just kind of max out, you actually increase tolerance. And when we increase tolerance, which mine got pretty high, you actually increase dependence as well. Tolerance goes up, dependence goes up. That's why it was such a weird thing when I had 2 glasses of wine and the room was spinning. I was like, that's like remedial. That was like a remedial situation because I was years into drinking. And that to me was like almost like a wake up call of like, Jen, it's just not going to work. And again, I find that God's mercy and kind of free. So anyway, here's the bottom line. Moderation requires constant control, vigilance, and is really exhausting because moderation keeps you focused on alcohol. Hello, the very thing you're trying to drink less or not at all, moderation actually keeps alcohol big. It keeps it big in the room. It keeps it big in your life. It keeps it big because if you're constantly negotiating, tracking, counting, looking around, measuring everyone else's speed of drink, should I order another one? All of it. It is actually still controlling you. If you have not done my 21-day reset challenge, I'm getting on these workshops to educate, to bring value to you. But listen, if you want some more coaching, like I want to give you everything I got. I want to tell you everything I've learned. I can't quite fit it all into 21 days, but I get real close. And then in AFL, which is the next step after the 21 days, it's never about perfection there either. It's not like you graduate from the 21-day reset challenge because you did it perfectly and you checked all the boxes and then you move on to AFL. AFL is really a place because you want more time to practice. But I'm telling you what, if you will give yourself a break from the management and take all of that energy and put it towards becoming the person you really want to be, instead of managing a side of you that you feel friction in cognitive dissonance, you can walk in freedom. You can walk in peace. You really can. Life doesn't get perfect. In fact, life doesn't even always get easier, but it gets better. It gets better. I can attest. I know many of the sisters here can as well. Whatever you do, definitely stay connected. And please know that you're never alone in our sisterhood. Y'all have a good weekend. Bye.